Hi, I'm Jen Bracy. I am a professor of graphic design. That's my career. I've been doing that for 25 years. And I'm also a visual artist. It's been in the last maybe decade or so that I've been taking more of an interest in developing my voice as a visual artist. And I love teaching. It's wonderful, but I also really need something to feed my soul outside of that. And that has sort of become a practice of experimental printmaking and collage, and some of the themes that are common in my work are nature and inspiration from nature and humans' relationship with nature. I also really love typography. The graphic designer in me is a real type nerd, and so that enters into my work quite a bit as well. I am here at Azule from Portland, Oregon, so I think I traveled the furthest to get here this time around. And one of the pieces I created last week kind of speaks to that a little bit. I created a diptych of collages. Collage is something I come back to again and again when I need something sort of intuitive and a little bit less cerebral than some of my other series. And so you can see this references the travel to southeast from, of course, my Pacific Northwest. There are elements of nature, elements of maps. These are common things found in my work. I print directly from leaves and materials that I find on site often. So there's a little piece of the grounds here represented in this as well. In terms of wordplay, I really was inspired some years ago by homonyms. Those are words that are spelled differently and have different meanings but sound the same. I like puns and all kinds of different wordplay and etymology. And I created this little artist book that I called The Nature of Language. And I brought it for inspiration because it does play into a project I'm working on here at Azule. And though it's abstract, you can start to read into the combinations a bit of my statement of our tenuous relationship with nature. So I might come back to the homonyms in a moment, but one thing I did create here this week is a little prototype for an interactive exhibit I hope to do that explores playing with different prefixes, suffixes, and middles of words. And it's interactive in the sense that you can come remove parts. You can sort of play by the rules and keep them color-coded, cyan, magenta, yellow, and the type is black for the graphic design nerd in me. Or you can just respond to the formal elements and put them together in combinations that are pleasing formally. And there are many combinations that are real words, and there are some a little like refrigerator magnetic poetry. There's a lot of chance, and one could intentionally build in some nonsense as well. And I tend to make up a lot of words. And because I teach as a profession, I'm always talking to students, and sometimes the word doesn't come to mind and I just make up things. So I'm always mashing together bits of words that don't necessarily exist in the human language. But the work that I really came here with intention to make, maybe these were distractions a little bit, is a series about the patterns of nature, patterns found in nature. I'm really interested in how nature does things with such intention and such efficiency and economy, and how we can learn from those. Biomimicry is a term that's often used to refer to how we can design things for human use based on how nature does it. And I've done work around that in the past. Perhaps this series is a little bit more cynical this time, in the sense that I'm bringing to light patterns in nature, like the branching pattern that's found in branches, of course, roots, rivers, our veins, human veins, veins of leaves, etc. And I'm bringing to light in this new series, which covers about 6 different patterns at the moment, also how us humans interfere. Intervene, interfere, prohibit nature doing the thing that it does best. This is the most complete, but there are others in the works. The honeycomb pattern, for example, is one of real strength and stability, and also economy of space. I've found the formal qualities similar in the diagram of steel. A carbon atom and the iron atom come together to make steel. And as you'll note, these will also, again, explore those homonyms. So this one's about transference or distribution of energy. So it might be titled something about that, but the homonyms give us, again, the message about my feeling of how we're interfering, and the herbicide or pesticide causing the decline in the honeybees is kind of referenced there. When I call my practice experimental printmaking, that's really about non-traditional printmaking. I may carve a linoleum block for some of the patterns and design elements. I may use stencils that I cut myself. I may often add elements with colored pencil. I add typography sometimes through stencils, or stamping with letter forms. I often use a jelly plate for some printing, and glass for more somewhat traditional monotype printmaking. So that's a little bit of a glimpse at some of the tools. Really anything can be a printmaking tool. A foam roller can be carved or augmented with string. Bubble wrap on a brayer can create a texture. I found that one useful for the one in the series that will have something to do with pollution. So it's a little bit of a glimpse at my messy but very active studio in the last week or so that I've been here.